today we're focusing on trans and non-binary sexual health. Trans people are considered a high-risk group when it comes to HIV, and in this episode, we're going to be looking into why that is and what is being done to change this.
If you heard the last series of Sex Talk, you'll have heard me and Hilary at Pride in London. It was amazing. If you haven't caught up yet, then please go back through the archive and listen to episode 11. You might have heard at Pride in London this year, a transphobic group protested at the start of the parade. Sadly for trans people, this is all too familiar. Although LGBT rights have come a long way in recent years, trans people still face a lot of stigma.
And according to LGBT rights charity Stonewall, 2 in 5 trans people have experienced a hate crime or incident in the last year. And 84% of trans people of school age have self-harmed. 45% have even attempted suicide.
Those stats are too high, and it takes all of us to chip in, I think, and make it more comfortable for them to be accepting of who they are and help them on that journey.
It's never easy. It's never an easy journey, especially in a journey whereby, society judges you a lot. And, if you feel that you're constantly being judged and you no longer want to be here, that's extremely concerning for me.
We want you to be here.
Yeah,
so we're going to help out.
Indeed.
According to another survey conducted by Stonewall, 41% of trans people said that healthcare staff lacked understanding of specific trans needs. So we're asking today, does this barrier increase the risk of HIV and late diagnosis among trans people, and what can be done to break down that barrier?
In London, there's a holistic sexual health and wellbeing service for trans and non-binary people called Clinic Q.
And joining us in the studio now is Aidan Walton, a director at Clinic Q. Welcome to Sex Talk, Aidan.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Now, I said jokingly when you first walked in the studio, director, that's a big title.
Yeah, it's a frightening one, to be fair, as well.
Don't worry. I mean, you've been there for, you were telling me, over 5 years now?
Yeah, and so it's not just me that's a director. There's another 6 people who take on the shared responsibility. So it's not all coming down to me, thankfully, which is quite nice.
Now, Aidan, let's kick off. What is Clinic Q and where is it?
So Clinic Q is a sexual health and wellbeing service for trans and non-binary people and their partners. It was originally based just at 50 16th Street, which is just around the corner from where we're recording here in Soho. We also have a counselling service which operates outside of the RNHS homeland, which is our service on a Wednesday evening.
So you said there, and their partners. I think that's key. That's vital.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Also, you said counselling. I'm here for that. I'm buzzing with that. What other services are available through Clinic Q?
You'd be amazed how much we've managed to fit under one roof, actually. So we have anything from, obviously, all of these services that you'd expect from a sexual health clinic. So whether that is regular testing, whether it's treatment for syphilis, gonorrhea, all those sorts of things, as well as a very busy HIV clinic. As we've said, we've got counselling, we've got acupuncture, we've got a yoga class, which goes on in what is usually a very uninteresting basement. It's our boardroom. We push all the tables to one side on a Wednesday evening. We have a yoga class for trans people and their partners. So quite a lot going on, I think.
Aidan, Adele just picked up counselling.
Yes.
And do you extend that counselling help service to perhaps families as well?
Absolutely. So we work in a really systemic way. So anybody that is affected by any issues relating to trans people and transition, if it's a partner that's struggling, if it's a young child, we can even, we can see counselling for young people, maybe have a parent that's transitioning. So we're really, really flexible about who we can see.
It's lovely to feel the passion, not only hear the passion, but we're in the studio with you right now and we can feel the passion that you have for Clinic Q. Why did you get involved in the first place?
So I transitioned myself about 10 years ago. I definitely took the scenic route into sexual health. So when I transitioned, I was working in the music industry. I was working in music publishing. And around about the same time that I started to feel a little bit disillusioned with that, I also started volunteering at a trans youth project in Norwich, which is the city I used to live in. And at the same time as kind of losing my love for music, I found something else that I felt really passionate and really strongly about. And actually, despite kind of growing up in a relatively rural place, I think I actually had quite an easy transition, and I was introduced to young people who maybe didn't have such an easier time. And I think, I've got a bit of a responsibility to try and do something about that for other people. So
you are being the change that you wanted to see.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
How did the people around you at the time react?
It was definitely challenging in certain respects. I think you find out who your friends are, unfortunately, but actually there's a huge positive that comes from that as well. So relationships that I had that maybe weren't as close to certain people who ended up being overwhelmingly supportive are now absolutely my best friends in the world.